yeah. Oh, yeah. And a very pleasant good evening, everybody. Welcome to Week 13 in the NFL. It is HAPPS Huddle time here on a Thursday evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. I'm Jim from the Northwest suburbs of Chicago, thanking you for spending your Thursday evening with us here on HAPPS. We're also broadcasting over on Twitch, over on Twitter, and over on YouTube. So make sure you check out my bio links on my Twitter page, which is at JS Scope. What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a magnificent week so far. Let's talk football. Thank you. Thank you very much. Notice I hit the post right at the end. Boom, William, how are you, my friend? What's going on? Thank you for the love bursts. Much appreciated, my friend. Michigan, the maize and blue. Oh my God, Anthony Carter, the darter. No, it's okay, because I could do more Bob Ufer imitations. Because I did the Dennis Franklin. Anthony, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Anthony Carter. Anthony Carter, the darter, the Mason Blue Heart. Look at those fans. All right, what's up, Joel? How are you? Thank you. I was just gonna say, no one could beat those handles, especially those initials JS. Right? What's up, Joel? How have you been, bud? What's happening? Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to HAPPS Huddle, Week 13 in the NFL. Do you believe it's Week 13 already? It doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't. It's just been a crazy, wild, unprecedented week. It's just, after Thanksgiving last weekend, and all of a sudden we're like, all right, back to this 5-day work week thing. But it feels good to see you guys. Your wife is a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Well, she's got her eyes set on Sunday Night Football, Broncos and Chiefs. That's going to be a good game, and we're going to preview that game as well as all of these games. See all these games here? Even the bye weeks over here, and of course this new app called Newly, which we're going to plug a lot tonight on this broadcast. So I'm pumped and I'm ready. We're going to be talking about all of these games tonight. Plus, hey Joanne, how are you? Welcome to HAPPS Huddle here on a Thursday night. It was great seeing you last night on Catalyst. Everyone check out and say hello to the amazing First Lady of live streaming. That, of course, is Miss Joanne Pham, the one who got me to go live nearly 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 bloody years ago. How are you, Jen? Hope you and everyone's doing over there in beautiful, beautiful scenic California. I saw the comment so fast. I know. I'm working on being a live streamer now. I'm getting new at this. I will get this down if it's the last thing I do. Yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. I know. It was 2015. It was a cold, damp April evening in Chicago when I discovered the HAPPS, or no, the Periscope app back then. Newly, yes. Someone's like, Jim, so far no lag, it's good. Yeah, I'm broadcasting from HAPPS. I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. No Gram yet, and I'm not doing TikTok yet. Yeah, Newly, Neuwly, and it's for iPhone for now, so it's only for your iPhone. Nothing for the Android thing, nothing for the the desktop yet. Steve and the Newly leadership team are working on. There you go, Joel. Yes, Neuwly. Yeah. Here it is right here. And thank you so much for the heart bomb. Yo, it's a heart bomb. It's dope, it's deaf, it's a heart bomb. Baba, how are you, my friend? Welcome. Joanne's just going to sit there and she's just going to live stream surf, go over the different platforms. Yeah, Jim in Chicagoland is my handle over there. I should put a link to my bio links on here, which I will do shortly. And that gives you the whole dysfunctional tree of places where you could find me. Dan, how are you down there in beautiful St. Louis? Thank you for the love celebration. That's my Depeche Mode imitation. Hope you like that. This is what the app looks like. It's right there. There it is, right there. Newly. Yes, Newly is the app that you will download. You'll click on that. Here, watch. Here, wait. There it is, right there. Autocorrupt and Newly don't get along. Oh, come on. Can't we all get along? Sure we can. So basically, here's my handle. Are you ready? Are you really excited? Look at this. Are you surprised? Yes, Jim in Chicagoland is my handle over on Newly. Yes. So what you do is you follow me there, and you'll be a part of my herd. Yes, they're called a herd. Yes, herd. Like bird, bird, bird. The bird's the herd. No, it's a herd like buffalo herds. These guys are out of Alberta. Yes, Lethbridge, I believe. Isn't that a character from Doctor Who? Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart here. And I was just gonna see, hi Joanne over on Twitch. Do I look? Can you give me bits over on Twitch? I always want to say bit. Oh, can you give me some naughty bits over on Twitch? How do I look? Do I look like I should have like an inflatable pool and then I should just like, if you give me a lot of bits, Joanne, I could like take a Sharpie marker and write your name on my forehead or on my right man boob or man bob. Or I could write someone else's name over here on my arm. Yeah, just think about it. Hey, we've got an action-packed night tonight. We're going to be talking about Week 13 in the NFL. We're going to be doing the spreads. We're going to talk about injuries. We're going to talk about key matchups. We're going to talk a little fantasy football tonight. My team is struggling, unfortunately. I'm no longer in first place. It must be Week 13 in the NFL. Of course not. So, you know how that goes if I'm lucky. I think I can subscribe via Amazon Prime. That's the thing I can't figure out, Joanne. We've got Amazon Prime, and yet for some reason, before I can go on watch Uke, or I can watch Tim, or I can watch Badges, I'm subjected to a 30-minute commercial of stuff that I can't relate to because I'm older than the average HAPPS or the typical Twitch demographic, which is really funky. But anyway, I'll figure it out. So I'm on Twitch, I think. Let me see if I can. I like to dial a friend. I like to call myself. Oh my God. Let's see if I'm even on here. Am I under just chatting or browsing? Let's see. Yeah, it's nothing but girls in swimming pools. Yeah, just what the 56-year-old demographic's looking for. Anyway, let's get to the fun and the shenanigans of the game that we watched earlier this evening from beautiful, scenic New Orleans, Louisiana. God, the Saints are really bad. And boy, how'd you like to be a Saints fan right now just after you signed Taysom Hill to that big contract, only to have your guy throw not one, not two, not three, not four, but are you sitting down? Four, yes, count them, four interceptions. Four interceptions. 30 minutes. Okay. That would be like an infomercial. Hi, I'm Larry King. I'm Larry King and I'm dead, but I'm going to tell you these Blue Bombers are the best. Oh my goodness, Larry, you're the awesome. You're the king. That's why I'm Larry King. Hey, Chris, how are you? Welcome to HAPPS Huddle. I'm Jim from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. We do, here's what I do. If you're new to me and you don't know who the heck I am, I've been on Periscope from like 2015 to 2020, joined HAPPS in 2020, and now I'm about to join Newly, and I'm also on all these other platforms. But I do kind of a chill broadcast called Catalyst on Wednesdays, where you turn off the television, you stop doom scrolling on the news feed or on the TL, and you literally jump on here, look into a candle, and you relax and you interact with a lot of fun people. It's a good detox moment for the midweek. Tonight we do football, at least through the final week of the NFL season, and then I will do some kind of a late night talk and variety program Thursday nights, and then Saturday we just crank up the volume. We do general knowledge trivia, Saturday night trivia Saturdays, and we do a round of general knowledge trivia, and then we do a round of music trivia Saturday night. So those are the 3 nights I'm on. I might be on Newly tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. Chris, I hope you're doing well. Hi, Nancy. Good night, Nancy. I didn't even know you were in here, young lady. How are you? Everyone say hi to the amazing Nancy, everyone. The pride and joy of Lake Country up there in beautiful, scenic Wisconsin. A warm, mild day here in the upper Midwest. Temperatures around 60 here in Chicago today. Fear not, we'll be up to 35 with snow flurries on Saturday. So everyone's out there running in t-shirts and shorts today. Don't worry, we'll be back wearing our 50 layers of Under Armour and coats and gloves and all of that on Saturday. Wah, wah. So hope you're doing well, Nancy, and hope you're having a magnificent day. Earlier this evening over there in the Big Easy, it was the New Orleans Saints dropping one to the Dallas Cowboys, 27-17. The Cowboys now go up to 8-4 on the season, and the Saints, their quarterback situation continues to dwindle. Ex-Northwestern alumni Trevor Siemian replaced by Taysom Hill tonight. Taysom Hill struggling, 19 of 41 for 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of which was in garbage time in the fourth quarter, but 4 interceptions in the game. Dak was 26 of 40, 238 yards with a touchdown and an interception. The big stud of the night from the offensive perspective was the performance of Mr. Pollard, Tony Pollard, 7 of 71 with a touchdown, including that huge 54-yard run off the left sideline that pretty much opened the game for the Cowboys in that third quarter. 10-2 in first place. Tough matchup this week, though. CeeDee Lamb was just okay. Yes, did not really do too much tonight offensively for the receiving perspective. CeeDee Lamb was 7 for 89 yards, and that was it. Dalton Schultz was 5 for 43. Amari Cooper was virtually non-existent, 2 for 41. The return of Michael Gallup, pretty encouraging, 5 of 36 with that touchdown. That was a huge one. We mentioned Tony Pollard, 7 of 71 rushing for the Cowboys. Zeke, 13 of 45. He is limping. He is really limping, and you can tell he still carried 2/3 of the carries. He was 13 carries. Pollard had 7 for those Cowboys. From the Saints, just a god-awful mess for them. Again, we talked about Taysom Hill. He was also the rushing leader, doing a lot of stuff. Wildcat fashion, 11 for 101 rushing. Mark Ingram, 10 of 28. Very disappointing. He will be benched. He has been benched and will be released by my team shortly. Receiving wise, Deontay Harris, that garbage touchdown late in the fourth quarter, he managed to go 4 for 96. But the rest of the team, especially Traquan Smith, targeted 9 times, only 2 for 15. That's not exactly the way you're going to go over well. Lil Jordan Humphrey had the other touchdown for the Saints. He was 2 of 49 in a losing cause. CeeDee Lamb, yes, he did have that huge 33-yard rush that on a key third down, I might add, that kept the ball in the Cowboys' hands in that pivotal third quarter. Also, another note I was going to mention, also someone else who didn't really make much of an impact either was, we already talked about Mark Ingram. There's also talk about Ty Montgomery getting some more carries for the Saints. He was only 4 of 21 tonight, so another moment for the Saints there. Very tough night. The scoring was pretty much just, it was pretty much the Cowboys early drawing first blood early. Michael Gallup did a really sweet move in the corner. Dak found him in the corner, the far right corner of the end zone. He dragged his foot. You saw all of the field turf like stuff fly up in the air, dragged his foot, but the other planted the other foot down just in time to bring the ball in to give the Cowboys 7-0 lead late in the first quarter. Then we talked about Lil Jordan Humphrey, a recipient of a 24-yard pass from Taysom Hill that tied the game at 7 apiece, part of a 7-play, 75-yard drive for the Saints. Greg Zuerlein then came back with a couple of back-to-back field goals, one of 55 yards, midway through the second quarter, and then a 34-yard field goal as time expired in the first half. It was pretty much 13-7 Cowboys at the first half. Second half action, I'm getting a pop-up here on my screen for some ridiculous reason. The Saints cut the lead on to 13-10. Brett Maher came up with a 43-yard field goal. It was a pretty decent drive by Taysom Hill, but it stalled out a little bit inside the 30-yard line. So they had to settle for the field goal that cut the lead to 13-10. But that big play was that 58-yard run off the left sideline for the Cowboys. Great blocking by the O-line for Dallas, which has stayed healthy this year. I think that's the big story. Not necessarily Dak being healthy, but that offensive line being healthy. And they are doing wonders for that rushing game. Tony Pollard, no exception, 58-yard run that made it 20-10. And then one of the 4 interceptions, a pick six in the fourth quarter. Carlos Watkins, the defensive end, pretty much Taysom Hill, like, throwing the ball right at him. Good old number 91, Carlos Watkins, taking in for a 29-yard interception into the house for the Cowboys. And then Deontay Harrison, garbage time, a 70-yard bomb from Taysom Hill on a slant pattern that ended the scoring. 27-17, Cowboys a winner over the Saints tonight. And yes, Lorenzo, what's going on down there in beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas? How are you? Welcome to HAPPS Huddle, week numero 13 here in the National Football League. I'm going to see if I can get Brian in here. We're going to see if he wants to join us. And I also want to get Tony D in here. Tony jumps in once in a while as well. And let me get Tony D in here. See if he wants to join us here. Let's see if they join us in the green room. But let's get to week number 13 in the NFL. We have 4 teams on bye week this week. Right down here, we have the Browns, the Panthers, the Titans, and the Packers on bye week for week 13. People are talking about how Brett Favre's going to get a week to rest that toe. There was talk and speculation that he was going to get surgery or outpatient surgery. From my understanding, he is not. So that will be probably a good news, bad news thing for the Packers going into week 14 next week. It's not like their schedule gets any easier. Oops, they got the Bears coming up. But anyway, I digress. Let's see here. What's going on, Marcus? How are you, my friend? Welcome to HAPPS Huddle, week number 13. Do you believe it's week 13 in the NFL already? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Marcus, make sure you check out all of you guys in here. Make sure you guys download the Newly app. I'm going to see if I can jump on tomorrow night, just for the fun of it, just to go on and play around with the app and see what happens. Just to say hi really quick. So make sure you check that out. Cowboys should have won this one, but got clumsy in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, the Cowboys, they hung on. They won 27-17 tonight. The Saints, Taysom Hill just looked pitiful. It was really sad. It was really sad. Yeah, Steve Christensen, the co-founder of Newly, reached out to me and said, hey, can I talk to you for a little bit? I'm like, yeah, sure. So we did an hour-long demo with me. We talked about we want to make this thing as much like Periscope as possible. There'll never be another Periscope again. I will say that flat out. However, they're trying to walk and not run, and they're going to try to listen and keep us. Not like other certain things that do a left turn on you, So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it's early. It's their turn to, make it or break it. Will they become a Twitch or will they become a meerkat? So, all right, let's go to the first game. The first game is over at the Mercedes-Benz Dome over there in beautiful, scenic Atlanta, GA. Oh boy, we've got a couple of winners here. Well, there's one team that's not a winner, and that's not the Falcons. It's pretty much Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. I can go on and on and on and on about this game right now, but the Bucs are 8-3. They've won 2 straight after that little struggling moment that they had, little hiccup in the road with the Saints back in October. Falcons, I cannot believe they're 5-6. I think that the catalyst, I had to say that word catalyst, didn't I, was none other than my own running back, Cordell Patterson. That team couldn't score if you'd paid me 2 weeks ago, but Cordell Patterson lit a fire under that team's butt and won quite convincingly. And even despite Cordell Patterson, I still lost my team. I've lost 2 of my last 3 teams. Actually, all 3 of the games I've lost to in fantasy this week I've played against have scored over 100 points. They've had very favorable matchups. I've averaged 85 points. I've been a hard luck. I had 1 tie and 2 losses the last 3 weeks. So I'm hoping this will turn the corner here. So basically, Tom Brady is going to pretty much try to do what he can to exploit the Atlanta secondary. And I think the Falcons remember how the Bucks completely blew them away in the second week of the season. Hey, Tom, what's going on, sir? How are you over there in Northwest Indiana? And Tom is looking forward to the Colt matchup over here. Where I put the Colts? Down here. Ooh, against the Texans too. Wait till Brian gets in. We shall see when they jump into the room here. So basically, you've got the pretty much the story with obviously Tom Brady, but the key thing here is that will Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones split carries? That is going to be the only intangible. But the key thing is Leonard Fournette went off last week. 4 bloody touchdowns last week, 131 yards, and he had at least 20 touches or something like that. Unconscious performance by Leonard Fournette last week. We're going to see what happens with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, obviously. Antonio Brown is still out. Gronkowski was back to his old self against the Colts. He was, 7 for 123 yards. So pretty impressive. Vintage Gronkowski, him lowering his shoulder and dragging, secondary and corners and safeties another 5-10 yards. So it was vintage Gronk last week. Mineral Man over in South Africa. How are you? Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to HAPPS Huddle. See, the thing is the Colts didn't go to the running game early last week, and that's what kind of bit them later. They didn't establish the running game. Carson Wentz went to throwing to Pittman and to T.Y. Hilton and over to Zach Pascal. And what happened was they were all over it. The Bucks were all over it, and by then they were digging themselves out of a hole. And then in the second half, they finally went to giving the ball to Jonathan Brown, who 2 weeks ago was getting 5 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Jonathan Taylor's a man amongst boys. I'm telling you that right now. I'm so mad I didn't pick him. I went with Derrick Henry, who got hurt 3 weeks ago. So here I am, 7-4-1 now, thanks to my tie and my 2 straight losses. I was 7-2 at one time, in first place with a 2-game lead. Here we go. I'm dialing in my inner Cub. So anyway, that's the story with the Bucks. Now, Matty Ice, we're going to see what happens with him here. He just hasn't really been much of an offensive arsenal. I think the only thing that's been really good for their offense is Cordell Patterson. Cordell has just been on fire. Last week, he had 16 for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, it was against the Jags, but you got to get your start somewhere, right? So that was a big stepping stone for the Bucks and the Falcons rather, and they turned things around. Now here is the fun thing that's going to be interesting this week. Again, the receiving core with Russell Gage, with Zacchaeus, and of course with Kyle Pitts. I have no clue what's going to happen with these guys. It just seems like this receiving tandem is just not clicking with Matt Ryan, and plus the aging offensive line isn't helping matters either. So it looks like doom and gloom. I think what is going to have to be done here, if the Falcons have a prayer, is that they're going to have to hope that a Cordell Patterson just controls the clock, their running game pretty much, and prevents the Bucks from getting possessions. And where's my marker? Here it is. Oh, there we go. So let's do our first pick here. That's a lot of wood. The Bucks are laying 11 with the over/under at 50. I'm going to take the over in this one, and I just think the Bucks are just going to run away with this early. I just don't see the Falcons having anything they can do. I think the Bucks are really good against stopping the run. And Matty Ice and his receivers are just not communicating. That offensive line is getting older, and that pocket is shrinking quickly for the aging Matt Ryan. So you guys can put in your picks here in the field if you want. Go ahead, type them in if you want, or if you want to just trust the expert. I'm not an expert. I'm here for recreational purposes only. So anyway, so that I'm taking the Bucks laying 11, which is a lot of wood, but I'm going to take that over the top. Next game is over at 16th and McFetridge along Chicago's lakefront, where it will not be 60 degrees on Sunday, and the Arizona Cardinals will be taking on the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. The big question, of course, is who's going to be the quarterback for both teams? Kyler Murray is still nursing that ankle after his injury 3 weeks ago against the Packers. Justin Fields has a rib, and according to sources at Hallis Hall, it will be old Carrot Top. Yes, it will be the return of Andy Dalton. Ugh. Okay. All right, so the Bears beat the Lions on Thanksgiving by that much. Barely. Barely. Who's on Twitch at the same time as me? Nobody. That's worthwhile. All right. But James Conner has been a godsend for the Cardinals in the absence of Kyle Murray, because James Conner's controlled the ball on the ground magnificently. He has done a really good job, and I expect more of that. I think they're going to wear down the Bears' front seven with a heavy dose of James Conner. Now, I'm not sure if anybody knows the story with Kyler Murray, if he is playing or not, so we will see what happens there. He's supposed to start, but nothing official yet. So stay tuned. I have Kyler Murray in my fantasy team, and I need him back really bad because I have Tannehill on a bye week and Cam Newton. Ultimate suckfest there. We won't go into that right now. What is the over-under for Dan Campbell getting fired? Oh my God, don't get me started. It's unbelievable. It's just, I feel bad for Dan Campbell. I mean, he was given a very bad hand, a very bad team. It's not his fault. Maybe it's his fault for taking the job, but it's not his fault for. I think he's handled that team well, despite all the crap they've gone through, and we've kept him in a lot of close games. But I feel bad for him. But anyway, so the Cardinals, keep your eye on the game day actives, inactives as far as Kyler Murray. We talked about James Conner. Chase Edmonds, I think, is coming off of the IR, but I don't expect him to play much at all. They're going to let him rest another week because James Conner has been a stud. 13 touchdowns in 7 of his last 8 games. Just loves being in the red zone. DeAndre Hopkins is another guy that's been kind of banged up. He's got a hammy, so check your game day actives, inactives for him. Of course, you have Christian Kirk, who's pretty much not giving you tons of yards. AJ Green, Rondell Moore, those guys are in there. And of course, Zach Ertz had a touchdown last week. I think he was like 8 of 88. No, he had 2 touchdowns 2 weeks because they were in the bye week last week. So he was like 8 of 88. He had 2 touchdowns against I think it was like the late game. Was it Sunday night against the Seahawks? When they beat Pete Carroll. Yeah. All right. I'm okay now. I'm fine. So that's the situation with the Cardinals. So despite the injuries, they are playing the Bears. The defense is not as good as it used to be. So that could also enable James Conner to fully exploit the Bears. Robert Quinn is having his best season ever as a Bear, or maybe of his career. Check on the status of Roquan Smith. He hurt himself last week against the Lions. He is questionable. I think he was limited in practice today. He should start, but again, keep an eye out on Mr. Roquan Smith. I don't know what the story is with Andy Dalton. I just, Justin Fields, I just don't want anybody. That offensive line is atrocious. The Bears' offensive line is one of the worst of anything I've known. I know Andy Dalton managed to throw 317 yards last year, including that late touchdown strike in the fourth quarter, of course, only to let the Bears let the Lions right back into the game, and it took a game-winning field goal from Mr. Cairo Santos to salvage a Bears victory on St. Patrick's Day, on God, I'm getting Alzheimer's, on Thanksgiving. Um, I think the best stud receiver isn't necessarily Allen Robinson, or it's not Marquise Goodwin. I am a big fan of Darnell Mooney. So if you have anybody in fantasy, if you have to start somebody as a flex, or if you're in a really deep league, Darnell Mooney may be your only source as far as fantasy stuff for the Bears. But again, check your game day actives, inactives for Kyler Murray and for DeAndre. Um, so Cardinals laying 7.5. That's a lot of wood on the road. Bears were just so excited about winning that game against the Lions. What does that say about when they have to step up in class against a team that has the best record in the NFC? With or without Kyler Murray, I am taking the Cardinals. And I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the over. It's going to be about 35 degrees on Sunday. No more of the 60-degree stuff like we had here in Chicago today. That's done. That's over. The Cardinals and Bears game will be a flop or a landslide by one of the teams. It'll be the Cardinals. Sorry. Who dat? Jameer is just sitting there going, Jameer, what were you doing when Pollard went up that left sideline, dude? You must have just gone ape crazy on that run. And your 4 interceptions. We talked about the Cowboys right at the beginning of the show. Jameer's doing this kind of stuff. He's like, yeah. Huge win for the Cowboys tonight. I was saying, love it, Jameer. Hope you're doing good, man. What's going on? Welcome to the huddle. Chargers and Bengals. This should be a really fun shootout. The situation, though, is it's at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. This is going to be a game where pretty much no holds barred. The Bengals defense is actually better than a lot of people thought. Bengals are laying 3. So you guys are welcome to type in your predictions. If you hear anything about injuries or anything like that, put them in the comments field. Bengals are laying 3. The over-under is 50.5. Chargers dropping an ugly game over in Denver last week, and they're now behind the Chiefs down the AFC West. The Bengals are now 7-4. Man, that team is fun to watch. I just love a team, and I'm really not a big fan of defense too much. I just like when they gun it out. Just throw the rock and have some fun. We'll talk about the Bengals in a second here. Let's focus on the Chargers right now. You're doing good after that beatdown. God, the Saints are horrible. God, you signed Taysom Hill to that big contract, and then he throws 4 interceptions. Imagine being a Saints fan right now. Thank goodness they've got Bourbon Street, and thank God they've got Midtown, and thank God they've got the Garden District, and thank God they've got a lot of other wonderful areas around that town. I love NOLA. I miss NOLA. Jameer's taking the Chargers. You got Justin Herbert, who's kind of been getting back to his old self again. He's throwing for at least 300 yards. He did last week again. But also, we need Keenan Allen. Please, we need some Keenan Allen. My receivers are just underperforming all year. Keenan Allen is due. Also, keep your eyes on Mike Williams. But of course, you know the story of this team. This team lives and dies by Austin Eckler and everything. So the guy's just a scoring machine. So obviously the key thing here for the Bengals is to stop the run. But can they stop the run? No, because I think the Bengals, are like in the bottom echelons of defenses against the run. So Eckler may be able to exploit this, and I think that's why Jameer is leaning towards the Chargers because of that. Now, on the other hand, take a look at Trayvon Diggs is a beast. 9 picks this season. That guy was just amazing. He did another one tonight. And then who was the one that in the fourth quarter? Your defensive end, number 91. Taysom. He's like, there's Taysom Hill. That's me, okay. And then, I'll just run in for 20 yards. Bah! Anyway. The Bengals are a fun team to watch. We got to see a little bit more Joe Mixon. recently. Um, he had 2 touchdowns last week. Um, but we need to see a little bit more consistency out of Joe Burrow. I think that's the key thing. He hasn't exactly thrown for a lot of touchdowns lately. His yardage is down a little bit, but Joe Mixon's just been completely on fire. Um, God, he was like 28 for 165 yards with 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. And I know the Steelers are beat up. I understand. But Joe Mixon is getting back into the Joe Mixon that we expected him to be. Also, keep your eyes on Mr. Jamar Chase. I know things have kind of gotten quiet for him. T. Higgins, on the other hand, there's some serious upside for T. Higgins. That guy went off last week. Tyler Boyd has been virtually non-existent, but I think the wideouts are going to be affected pretty much by Joe Mixon, and I think it's going to become a control game as far as the clock. So with that in mind, I am going to take the under, believe it or not, simply because of the fact that you're going to have Eckler and Joe Mixon. A lot of the first half, it's just going to be about ball control and field position. So it's going to be a chess game in the first half, and then the second half, teams will make adjustments, and someone's going to give, and something's going to open up. And with that in mind, I am going to take the Bengals in the colder weather against the Chargers, laying 3, but by that much, barely the Bengals will cover. Barely. Welcome to HAPPS Huddle. This is every Thursday night. We do this every Thursday right after the Thursday night game. If you missed it, the Cowboys knocking out the Saints 27-17 over there at the Caesars Superdome. The New Orleans Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It's the Caesars Superdome. Next game, we go up to beautiful Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Will the Lions win this week is the big question. Lorenzo says the Chargers will give the Bengals a bit of hell. We shall see. Yeah, it seems like money is coming in on the Chargers, though, guys. And that's not taking. And we need a lot of Keenan Allen. We need lots of Keenan Allen. Yes, yes. Cowboy, it's a Cowboy Superdome now. The AT&T Cowboys, the Jerry Jones Superdome. The Tony Pollard Superdome. Melanie, how are you? Welcome to Thursday night in our HAPPS Huddle. Good seeing you, my friend. How the heck are you? What's going on? So Mike says no. He doesn't think the Lions have any prayer whatsoever against the Vikings. Now, keep in mind, the Vikings, they've been very hit or miss this year, and plus injury prone. Again, it wouldn't be a season without Dalvin Cook being injured when it matters. Not to laugh, I'm not making a laughing matter of it. However, I will tell you that I did pick up Alexander Madison for my team because my running backs suck or they're injured or they're out for the year. Derrick Henry. Last week, we saw Dalvin Cook gone. He's got a torn labrum, and a separated shoulder. He will be out for a couple of weeks. So Alexander Madison will be in there. You'll have your Adam Thielens, your Justin Jeffersons. Hoping that perhaps you may get a couple of 100-yard performances out of them, especially against the Detroit Lions, who are completely lost. Where's Brian? I want to see if Brian jumps in. He is a big fan of Tyler Conklin. He doesn't do much and hasn't done much as far as anything in their tight ends are concerned. Cowboys lost by 3 points. No. Cowboys won 27-17 tonight. They beat the Saints quite handily. Well, it was close, and then they opened it up. But Taysom Hill threw 4 interceptions tonight. Going with the Lions. So Jameer says this is the day that the Lions get their first win, or they just cover. Well, let's go inside the numbers. So we talked about Madison, who basically, the guy is not Dalvin Cook, but considering he's just in there as a backup, he's holding his own quite well. I think when Cook was out earlier this year, Madison did go off against the Lions over in Minneapolis. So that's something to check out right there. The other thing you want to look at also is to check out My kicker is Greg Joseph. We need Greg Joseph to get at least 3 field goals for me, if not more. Up the dose. We need a lot of Greg Joseph. Lions, I'm not going to go into too much about fantasy stuff. DeAndre Swift, you saw that horrible injury against the Bears. He has a shoulder. Roquan Smith landed on him on the sideline on Thanksgiving. So it's a sprain. Thank goodness it's nothing, but he'll be out. So Jamal Williams will be taking a lot of the carries for the Lions. There's really nothing here from an offensive fantasy football perspective with the exception of TJ Hawkinson. He's not giving you tons of yards, but he'll give you like a touchdown sparingly here or there. And I would imagine Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe if you're like a 12-team or a 14-team league with a flex, you may want to just have him in there just as a standby as like a WR4 or something like that. The spread, Vikings are laying 7. That's a lot of wood. The Vikings need this win though. The Vikings need this win. They're 5-6 right now. That Niners game really stung big time. But this one, the Vikings are going to win. Barely. Ready for this? Check this out. Boom. The Vikings will win, but the Lions, the Vikings will not cover. So it'll be like the Lions by 4, and I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under that game because I just think it's just going to be a pretty ugly game over there at Ford Field. If you're just jumping in, welcome to HAPPS Huddle. I'm Jim in Chicago. Welcome aboard to our Thursday night preview of Week 13 in the National Football League. We're talking fantasy football. We're talking spreads, over-unders. If you guys have anything on the money line, type in those money lines in the comments field. As you can tell, I don't have much room to put money lines on here. And we're talking about injuries and other things in the league. So definitely interact. That's what makes this broadcast unique and compelling compared to the stuff that you see on the news networks and on all the sports channels and all that stuff and on other live streaming apps. All right, next game. How about the Miami Dolphins? Raise your hand if you think the Miami Dolphins are going to be playing this good right now. They have won 4 straight games. Now keep in mind, it's not like they're playing world beaters. They're not, they're playing a very soft lineup, no question about it. 2 straight years the Vikings have lost to us, stack their day. And we appreciate you doing that because I hate the Vikings. And the Packers. When the Vikings and Packers play each other, I'm the guy that's like, I hope they both lose. You know? All right. Down at Hard Rock Stadium. It's going to be Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins taking on, will there be a Daniel Jones? And the often injured and injury-plagued New York Football Giants over there at, let me move that way a little bit. There we go. Against the Giants. So essentially, check if you really have to have Daniel Jones start as the quarterback, are you just like calling your team bye week? Sorry, with all due respects. Still, it just seems like, the Giants are 4-7 now, okay? They're like, I still think it's the worst division of football. I know the Eagles are kind of making some strides here. It's basically the Cowboys and everybody else in the NFC East. Plain and simple is that. Mike Lennon, Daniel Jones, again, check your game day actives, inactives. I think Daniel Jones did snap, but he wasn't like the main guy. Mike Lennon may be the starter after all. I think Daniel Jones still has a neck, if I'm not mistaken. So keep your eyes tabbed on that. Saquon Barkley, he's not himself. He just seems like he doesn't have that breakaway speed. He's not cutting the way he should. I don't see the Giants doing much here. As you know, the Giants suffered in yet another injury to the receiving core. You had Kadarius Toney with a quad, who's hurt. Sterling Shepard is out with his quad. There's a lot of injuries here. Evan Ingram, he may have a cup of coffee in the zone. Um, there's just too many question marks for the Giants right now. Now, the Dolphins are my recipient of the Overachievers Award. They are taking full advantage of a very, very weak lineup. They beat the Texans, they beat the Jets, they beat the Panthers. They got that win against the Ravens, which was cool, whatever. But they have a bye week next week, so they want to win this week. And then they play the Jets again. Behold the powers of playing in the AFC East. Wah, wah. Anyway, I digress. We pretty much got the division on lock. Our schedule means easy. I mean, you guys that's men amongst boys there, Jameer. I mean, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, I mean, they're kind of a threat, but they're not going to take over the Cowboys. And the Eagles are playing a soft schedule. Just put it out there. Melanie says, I don't care who the Dolphins beat. A win is a win. I'm going for the fish. Melanie's picking the fish. She's going with the Dolphins because of Tua Tagovailoa, who has really, been hit or miss, more or less. And he hasn't really been running in touchdowns much either. You have Myles Gaskin. You have Philip Lindsay. The receiving core, we're still waiting for Jalen Waddle to make an appearance this year. Anytime you're quite ready, Jalen Waddle, we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. And I know that last week he had 137 yards on 9 receptions and a touchdown. But let's see if we can line up some consistent weeks back to back. Let's see if Jalen Waddle can deliver. Mike Gesicki, I think, is also somebody who was very beneficial, a beneficiary of anybody but Tua Tagovailoa. I think in this case, Gesicki will pretty much be staying with the offensive line to block for Myles Gaskin and also to protect Tua Tagovailoa, so we can get over to guys like Waddle and Mac Hollins, and those guys. So, who do you guys like in this one? You like Tua, however you pronounce this? I butcher his. That's why I just call him Tua, because I butcher up his last name all the time. I'm just, I will try to read his name. All right, let's try this one more time. Tagovailoa. I just call him Tagovailoa. Come on, I want to lay ya. Anyway, I'll just call him Tua. But Tua will do it to the Giants. 4 points is very generous. Give me the over 2. Give me the over, but it'll be the Dolphins. They'll be doing all the scoring. Give me the Dolphins and crank it up. Give me the over. Next game, Eagles and Jets over at the James Hoffa Dome. No, it's over at MetLife Stadium over there in scenic, beautiful, the MetLife Stadium in beautiful New Jersey. The Eagles are going to be taking on the New York Jets for a 12 noon tilt. Eagles were doing quite well, and then they met the New York Giants. And just like that, the Eagles are 5-7 again. The Jets had a little cup of coffee with greatness. Their 2021 highlight reel will be the game against the Titans. That was it. Thank you for paying $20 to see this long, awful video of the Jets year in review. Anyway, the Eagles are in MetLife, though, so the Eagles are on a road trip and everything. And yes, Jalen Hurts. He seems like he's dialing his inner Kyler Murray, his early years when he just did nothing but run and was reluctant to throw. They need to offset that stuff over and over and over again. But keep your eyes on Jalen Hurts' ankle. He had an ankle. He rolled his ankle late in the game last week. So if he is not going to go, it's going to be, what's his name? Gardner Minshew. So it's a huge downgrade from the quarterback perspective for the Eagles. So if Jalen Hurts is out, You get Gardner Minshew, and they're going to suck. Miles Sanders is back behind the backfield now that Jordan Howard has a knee injury. Um, but I know that Sanders hurt his ankle as well. So keep your eyes on the game day actives and inactives as far as Miles Sanders. The game is being played over at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Um, so it's going to be Boston Scott and Miles Sanders, depending on how his ankle is. Check the game day actives and inactives for him. Um, I am just kind of at a loss as far as the receiving group here. I mean, the only one, Devonta Smith. I mean, all you have to do to stop the Eagles' pass game is do cover 2 on Devonta Smith, and then after that, you can just worry about letting have Ertz throw underpasses to tight end Dallas Goedert, and then go from there. Because the running game isn't that impressive for the Eagles either. Um, but keep in mind that they're getting break because they're playing the Jets, and the Jets give up you know, they give up 20 something points a game and over 200 something yards a game. Ugh. And as you know, as a public service reminder, I do not talk much about the New York Jets. Zach Wilson is back behind center, however. So we'll see what happens there. They also don't have Michael Carter, which means you're going to have ex-Falcon Tevin Coleman and Austin Walker splitting carries. So it'll be a running back by committee setup for the Jets. Elijah Moore is probably the guy who's going to be the recipient of a lot of receptions because Corey Davis is out now with a groin. He's got a groin. He's got one of those things. Groin, pulled something down there. Not feeling good. Melanie's taken the Jets. So is Jameer, and so am I, because I think that having Wilson back behind center will help. I know the Jets defense is pitiful, but Jalen Hurts may not be able to run, and he doesn't look confident throwing lately, and he doesn't have many great people to throw to either. Plus, the Eagles' running game is kind of suspect. So the Eagles are going to win the game, but they will not cover. So I'm taking the Jets and the under because of the multitude of injuries on this team. It's pretty sad. A lot of injuries for both teams, but I think the Jets are going to be the beneficiary of that situation with the Eagles. So give me the Jets getting 7 at MetLife, and I'm going to take the under in that one. Down here in the corner for my good friend over there in Northwest Indiana, of course, we're talking about my friend Tom. The Indianapolis Colts licking their wounds travel down to Houston to take on a resurgent Texans team. You ever think you'd hear me say that in my lifetime, huh? Telling you, crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Let's see where Carson Wentz shows up this week. The one that basically threw too much. I don't know if it was Frank Reich's decision to do that. Why did they just give the ball to Jonathan Taylor and run the ball down the gut to control the clock against the Bucks? That's why the Colts are 6-6. They are average. Fortunately for them, they're playing the Houston Texans this week. The Texans, lost to the Jets and everything like that, but still, this is going to be an ugly game. Which will be a good Carson Wentz or bad Carson Wentz? I think it's going to be a moot point because it's going to be a lot of Jonathan Taylor. It's going to be about clock control. The offensive line for the Jets does an admirable job letting guys like Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, and even Jack Doyle. He's injured. He's not injured, but he's day-to-day. So check out your game day actives, inactives for tight end Jack Doyle. I had to drop Michael Pittman from my fantasy team because I'm stacked at wide receiver and I needed a quarterback. Or did I need a quarterback? No, I needed a running back. So I picked up Madison and I dropped Pittman. I'm in a 10-team PPR flex. So that's going to be, it's going to be feast or famine on that move. I got to do something ballsy to get back into first place, and I'm hoping I strike gold there. Um, Garbage time was like they brought Jonathan Taylor to run in that second half against the Bucks after the fact. By then, Tom Brady and especially Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette went off last Monday, completely went off, and the Colts are like, uh, uh, you know. So maybe if they give Jonathan Taylor the ball a little bit more, which I think they will this week. Jameer was born in Texas, so let me take the Texans. So Jameer's taking the Texans. What's up, DG? Welcome to HAPPS Huddle. We're talking Week 13 in the National Football League. Melanie is going with the Colts as well. I like Jonathan Taylor. I mean, the guy is just a beast. There's no question about it. I mean, that 5 touchdown game, that was just worth the price of admission. And I like the receiving core of Michael Pittman, T.Y. Hilton, and Zach Pascal, with Jack Doyle sprinkled in a little bit. My concern is the inconsistencies of Carson Wentz and the offensive line's ability to protect him and give him time to throw the rock. He made some stupid mistakes last week, very inaccurate and incalculable errors, which led to a Bucs victory. And their defense showed some vulnerabilities too, giving up all those touchdowns the way that they did. This one is going to be a tough one here. I think in this weird, twisted way, I'm taking the Texans because 10 is a lot of wood. So the Colts will win, but barely. I would say by maybe 6. I'll say 4 to 6 points. The Colts will win, but the Texans will cover and give me the over. Give me the over simply because of the fact that the Texans, I mean, their offense is kind of showing some hope a little bit here. Thank you to the return of Tyrod Taylor. That guy, for some reason, I thought he was done when he was with Buffalo. But a man is holding his own. He and Brandon Cooks may do something here. We'll see what happens, but why not? Let's go with the Texans getting a whopping 10 at home against a 6-6 Colts team, which has been average to say the least. I don't trust Wentz. He's all or nothing, Jameer. He is all or nothing. There's good Carson, bad Carson, and then he does this typical Wentz is going to be Wentz. Yeah, it's very streaky, very inconsistent. All right, next game, up to the top of the board here. Let's go to Vegas, baby. We're going to Vegas where we are going to have Derek Carr. And this is the first of the late games. Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Washington football team over at Allegiant Stadium over there in Vegas. What is with the Ron Rivera and the Redskins? That victory over the Seahawks, that go-ahead touchdown with a couple of minutes left in the game, that was a huge win for Ron Rivera's team. They're now 5-6, and they need this one too. I know they're in the NFC East, but it would be kind of neat to see what happens with this team on the road as they go to Las Vegas. It'll be interesting to see Taylor Heineke. I say Heineke. Taylor Heineke. I'm butchering up quarterback names today. We'll see what happens with him. Plus, Logan Thomas is back in the lineup. Logan Thomas, the tight end. They needed him big time. And before he got hurt, Heineke loved throwing the rock to Logan Thomas. And don't forget, he's got Terry McLaurin to throw to. You know, and also on the lighting up on the other side of him, of course, is DeAndre Carter. And I think the big story though is the injury to J.D. McKissick. When he went down last week, that was not pretty. That was just something, when he got that knee to his helmet, and he just went, boom. So he's got a neck. So I would say that at least as of now, I don't think he practiced today. So does anybody know if J.D. McKissick practiced today? Let me know. Hey, Tony, what's up, bud? All right, yeah, like I said, the door's open, dude. And we're talking about the Raiders and the Washington football team. Everyone, make sure you're checking out Tony D, everybody. Melanie's going with the football team. Antonio Gibson's going to be carrying the rock now that J.D. McKissick is probably going to be out for this week at least, from my understanding. I did not hear anything about McKissick practicing today, especially after it being a recipient of that helmet or that knee to the head and the neck and all of that. The Raiders, on the other hand, that overtime win against Dallas on Thanksgiving night, that was just man, it was just a old school, Cowboys Raiders, from like in the 70s, It was Tom Landry versus John Madden, like in the 70s, watching them play back in the day. Derek Carr pretty much has been, on again, off again, on again, off again. The tough part here is that his receiving tandem, he's been really targeting a lot of Hunter Renfrow. A lot of Hunter Renfrow, plus taking into consideration that, yes, my tight end, Darren Waller, is out. He is out this week. So that really hurts my team too. So we have Derrick Henry, Kyler Murray, Darren Waller, who else? Kareem Hunt. So I've had 4 injuries. I'm 7-4-1. Go figure. But Josh Jacobs, pretty much against Dallas, 22 for 87 and a touchdown. And Kenyon Drake is starting to get a little bit more targets, like on those little screen passes and those little play actions. Kenyon Drake is coming in on 3rd and long situations on occasion as well. Deshaun Jackson made a cameo appearance last week. He was 3 for 102 including that 156-yard touchdown that he had. But Hunter Renfrow is like the only receiver that I personally think is going to be worth starting from the receiver tandem. So go with Hunter Renfrow. I mean, you could start Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr, not exactly a solid lock. So who do you guys like in the game? Let's take a look and see what everyone wrote down. He's been playing Fighting the Real. Yes. Raiders, easy winners for Tony and the under. Washington football team for Tony and the defense. Let's see here. St. John, what's going on? 3rd and Renfrow, pretty much, because without Ruggs there, the options just, and Darren Waller's out too now, so it's a double suck. We want to be nice on Thanksgiving after the index cards. We give them that win, the overtime victory. You have Hunter Renfrow on your sleeper squad last season. Yeah, that's cool. Brian Edwards too. Well, Waller's out. Waller's out. He's on my team too, on my fantasy team. So this is going to be something. This is a tough road assignment for Washington. I think that a lot of it's going to come down on just Derek Carr is going to find a way to win. Josh Jacobs is going to go off. Only 1 point at home is the reason why I'm taking the Raiders. I'm encouraged by Washington's progress. They're 5-6 now. They're making good progress, but keep in mind they're playing in the NFC East, feasting on weak opponents, teams that they should beat. Now let's see if they can do on the road. So give me the Raiders and the 1. And let's crank it up because Heineke is a good quarterback, and the secondaries for both these teams. Well, the Redskins or the Washington football team's secondary is okay. I shouldn't take anything against them. Raiders, it's going to be hit or miss, but I'm still going to take the over regardless. So give me the over on that one over there at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Next game, we will switch over to beautiful Los Angeles, over to